narinig ko rin yan. If I'm not mistaken, just recently, the Bangko Sentral issued a memorandum circular na ipinagbabawal na ang cash releases if it's more than 500,000 pesos, dapat check na ata, no? And they did that after the first or the hearing or the second or the third hearing of the Blue Ribbon Committee. Pwede naman pala. Kaya naman palang gawin mag-issue ng ganong klaseng circular para mahigpitan pa itong pag-release ng cash transactions ng government banks.
Hindi kaya, Mr. President, kaya kinukulang ng cash ang mga land bank dahil dito po nag-withdraw yung karamihan ng mga contractor, mga taga-DPWH, bulto-bulto na
Well,
pera.
base doon sa salaysay ni Miss Sally Santos, yun ang nangyari. Sinabi niya ay idineposito sa kanyang account ng DPWH at ang utos ay i-withdraw at dalihin sa district engineer. In fact, if I recall correctly, yung cash na nakita dun sa mga larawan, sa mga picture, yung limpak-limpak na salapi na nakapatong dun sa lamesa, galing yun sa land bank. Kawi-withdraw at dineliver nga dito sa opisina kung saan nilapag ng Public Works District Engineer yung pera. Cash.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. President. That's all. Thank you po.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Senator Rafi.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I refer the speech. I move to refer the speech of the good gentleman to the Committee on Banks and Financial Institutions to include all interpellations as well.
Any objection? Hearing none, the manifestation speech of Senator Pangilinan is referred to the Committee on Banks.
We recognize, Mr. President, Senator Jingoy Estrada.
Senator Jingo Estrada is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, just an inquiry, Mr. President. I was tasked by my fellow minority senators. Since last week, during our last session, if my memory serves me right, last Wednesday, we discussed the twin resolutions. The resolution filed by Senator Alan Peter Cayetano and the other resolution filed by three senators, Senators De La Rosa, Padilla, and Bongo, regarding the sense of the Senate with regard to the House arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte. And we agreed during the last week's hearing that it will be discussed during the All Senators Caucus, which happened yesterday. May I know the status of the twin resolutions, Mr. President?
Mr. President, with the information, for the information of the body, we did have an all-member caucus, but the minority was not there. Only Senator Padilla was
Robin
there.
Padilla.
But it's not their fault, Mr. President. Dumating po si Vice President Sara Duterte, so they were, of course, accommodating and hosting Madam Vice President's office nila. But so the status was we were not able to discuss it lengthily and fully because of, we didn't have the sponsors of these measures in the all-members caucus yesterday. Pero nandito po tayo. For the record, nandito po tayo naghihintay sa lounge. So if the good gentleman would want, maybe after this we can suspend after the three resolutions and discuss it.
We are more than willing to
Lengthy
discuss
again.
it, Mr. President.
Okay. So yun na lang po, Mr. President. We can discuss it later on after the business of the day.
Yes,
Thank you, Mr. President.
if the body so desires, we can conduct a caucus after the business at hand.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we have three items of the day. We have two resolutions, simple resolutions, and one ratification that hopefully we can approve on second reading. But for the two resolutions, we have an additional reference of business. So I move for the additional reference of business, Mr. President, so we can take up the resolutions.
The additional is it contained in the additional reference of business? Majority Leader.
Yes, sir.
You need 16 votes for that
Ano,
particular...
bukas pa po yung ratification
second reading?
for the second reading lang po.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But I
Only
believe
for second reading.
the gentleman from Nueva Ecija, Camarines Norte, and Mindanao would like to be recognized.
Senator Robin Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Gusto ko lamang pong sundan yung kahilingan po ng ating mahal na kapatid at Senador Jingo Estrada patungkol po sa kahilingan namin, sa resolusyon po namin, patungkol po kay dating Pangulo Rodrigo Roa Duterte. At gusto ko lamang din pong kunin po ang atensyon ng ating mga kasama na kami po kasi ay nangangamba kasi meron pong mga usap-usapan na yung dati pong senador na si Antonio Trillanes ay nagpunta daw po sa The Hague at ang pinaniniwalaan po ng karamihan ay siya po ay nagpunta mismo sa kulungan ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Nais lang po sana namin itong malinawan dahil matagal po akong nakulong sa Bilibid. Hindi po kailanman na meron pong pupunta na tao na hindi mo gustong makita. Yun po, tatanungin ka muna ng gwardiya kung gusto mo bang makita itong taong ito. Yun lamang po, gusto lamang po naming malinawan kasi meron na pong matinding sakit si Tatay Digong. Sa kasalukuyan po, siya po ay meron ng tinatawag nating early signs of dementia. Kaya sana lang po malinawan po namin to. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We take note of the manifestation. Very good, colleague. So, Mr. President, I move that we proceed with the reference of business. Additional reference of business.
The Secretary will proceed with the reference of business.
Additional reference of business, bills on first reading, Senate Number 1419, an act consolidating all performance measurement tools and reward system for all local government units by institutionalizing a culture of meritocracy in the Philippines, amending certain provisions of RA 11292, the Seal of Good Local Governance Act of 2019, and for other purposes, Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committees on Local Government and Finance.
Senate Number 1420, an act mandating the inclusion of social awareness and social responsibilities as part of the curriculum in all senior high schools, Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committee on Basic Education.
Senate Number 1421, an act mandating the integration of the National Building Code of the Philippines under RA 6541, an act to ordain and institute a National Building Code of the Philippines as a major subject in the curriculum of the Bachelor of Science degree programs in Civil Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, Electrical Engineering, Sanitary Engineering, Electronic Engineering, and Architecture, and its inclusion as a topic in the licensure examinations for these professions, Senator Villar M.
To the Committees on Higher Education and Civil Service.
Senate Number 1422, an act promoting integrated urban agriculture in urban areas nationwide to address food security and appropriating funds therefore, Senator Villar M.
To the Committees on Agriculture and Finance.
Senate Number 1423, an act establishing nursing homes for senior citizens at the provincial and city levels, providing for funding, setting standards, ensuring personnel training, promoting community participation, and for other purposes, Senator Ontiveros.
To the Committees on Social Justice, Local Government and Finance.
Senate Number 1424, an act integrating the study of West Philippine Sea in the curricula of all public and private basic educational institutions, Senator Estrada.
To the Committees on Basic Education and Finance.
Senate Number 1426, an act establishing the Philippine Professional Standards and Quality Assurance System, Senator Legarda.
To the Committees on Higher Education and Civil Service.
Senate Number 1427, an act strengthening the Commission on Higher Education, repealing for the purpose RA 7722, the Higher Education Act of 1994, Senator Legarda.
To the Committees on Higher Education, Ways and Means and Finance.
Resolutions, proposed Senate Resolution 138, congratulating and commending Filipino-American singer Jessica Sanchez for winning America's Got Talent Season 20, the first contestant of Filipino descent to win the competition, Senator Estrada.
To the Committee on Rules.
Proposed Senate Resolution 140, expressing the sense of the Senate and celebrating the robust interparliamentary relations between the Senate of the Philippines and the National Assembly of Hungary, and honoring the steadfast leadership of its distinguished speaker, the Honorable Laszlo Kover, Senator Zubiri.
To the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we consider proposed resolution number 140. This is a resolution honoring Hungary parliamentary ties and Speaker Laszlo Kover. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there an objection? Hearing none, the consideration of proposed Senate Resolution 140 is in order. Secretary is directed to read the title of the resolution.
Resolution expressing the sense of the Senate in celebrating the robust interparliamentary relations between the Senate of the Philippines and the National Assembly of Hungary, and honoring the steadfast leadership of its distinguished Speaker, the Honorable Laszlo Kover.
Mr. President, may I be recognized to sponsor the measure, Mr. President?
You may do so. You proceed, Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Siguro kasama ko po dito sa ating Senado ay nagtataka bakit po natin in-honor ang ating samahan at pagkakaibigan ng Hungary and the Hungarian Parliament is also because we're going to receive the Hungarian Speaker, which is the number 3. I think he's your co-equal, Mr. President. They only have a single parliament in Hungary, but he's also third in rank and line of succession in Hungary, and he'll be visiting us, I believe, on October 15. So that's why we are hopefully be able to pass this resolution and be giving it to him. And as a fact, Mr. President, Hungary has always been a good friend of the Philippines, particularly since our establishment of diplomatic relations 52 years ago. Since then, Hungary has championed us in matters regarding the European Union. As a matter of fact, when we pushed for our status as priority beneficiary of the General Scheme of Preferences, or GSP, and our ongoing negotiations for free trade agreement, it is Hungary that's in the forefront of pushing for these two measures to be approved by the European Union Parliament. Hungary has also been constant in her support for our country's fair share in the global landscape, such as our maritime rights under the international law, as well as our bid for membership with the United Nations Security Council and the United Nations Commission on International Trade. The close friendship between our two countries is perhaps best exemplified through our ties with the Parliament's Hungary-Philippines Friendship Group, headed by their Deputy Speaker, who's a dear friend of mine, Mr. President, István Jakab. And he's the president. I happen to be the counterpart. I happen to be the president of the Philippine-Hungary Friendship Group. When we visited last October 2023, they graciously welcomed our delegation in 2023 as well as 2020, as early as 2029, of which time we were hosted by this previous one by the national speaker himself, Laszlo Kover, along with Deputy Speaker Jakub. In turn, we've had the honor of welcoming friends from the Hungarian National Assembly in November 2021, led by Deputy Speaker Jakub, and in January of this year, led by Committee on Foreign Affairs Chairperson Zsolt Nemeth. And again, this October, as Speaker Kover leads an official visit to the Philippines. These exchanges have been wonderfully productive and have yielded stronger partnerships in agriculture, education, healthcare, and disaster management. As an agriculturist myself, I have to thank Hungary for being extremely generous with their expertise in agriculture and aquaculture technology, to our great benefit, Mr. President. Indeed, one of the highlights of our 2023 visit to Hungary was getting to sit down with the heads of Hungarian universities, Hungarian University of Agriculture and Life Sciences, or MATE. This is their equivalent of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, which dedicates 35 slots for Filipino scholars every year. And many of our best and brightest are getting their education in Hungary. As a matter of fact, Mr. President, my Chief of Staff, Attorney Nelisa Makapayag, is a graduate of Hungarian education for her master's. And they're bringing all that knowledge back home to help us build stronger agricultural sector and more food security for the future of our Filipinos. To top that, during our meeting with the Hungarian cabinet officials in 2023, we learned that they have allotted 20,000 jobs to Filipino workers in their agricultural and IT industries. Let me repeat that, Mr. President. Hungary allotted 20,000 Filipino jobs in their agricultural and IT industries. They love the Filipinos in Hungary because Hungary happens to be also a very Catholic country. Many people don't know that, they're quite religious. They believe in family values. Kaya pagpunta po ng ating mga kababayan dun sa Hungary, fit na fit po sila sa sistema at sa kultura ng mga Hungarian. So that's why they love the Filipinos. We're the only country that they've given that large of allotment of workers. Hungary has truly given us their full support from education to employment. And I have every faith that the upcoming visit of the delegation led by Speaker Cover will further strengthen the ties between our two countries, built upon 52 years of friendship and building towards an even more robust future of bilateral cooperation. To celebrate this friendship, we'll be presenting this Senate resolution to Speaker Cover during his parliamentary visit here in the Senate on October 15. In line with this, I would like to invite all our colleagues to a luncheon reception on the same day for the entire Hungarian delegation. So once again, Mr. President, maraming salamat.
Thank you. Majority Leader, are there any interpellation?
There are no interpellations, Mr. President, just a quick amendment to the resolution.
Therefore, I will entertain a motion to
Yeah, we
open
could
the
close the
period
period
of amendments.
to close the period of interpellation, Mr. President. So,
Period of interpellation is closed. The period of amendments open.
Yes,
You are
Mr. President.
recognized.
Mr. President, just on the second whereas clause to delete, and I quote, "end the United Nations Commission on International Trade." Close quote. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, amended is approved.
There being no other amendments, move to close the period of amendments.
Any objection? Hearing none, period of amendments closed.
Mr. President, with that, I move to adopt Senate Resolution number 140, subject to style. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none. PS Resolution 140 is hereby approved.
May I request that all
Adopted.
members be made co-sponsor, Mr. President?
Hearing no objection, therefore, we are making all the members present as co-authors or co-sponsors? Co-authors of the measure.
And we have another resolution, Mr. President. Kiko, you ready for Mr. Vinzons? Yes, sir. Mr. President, I move that we consider proposed Senate Resolution number 128. This is the resolution commemorating the 115th birthday anniversary of Wenceslao Vinzons. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration of PS 128 is approved. Majority Leader.
I will ask the Secretary, Mr. President, to read.
Secretary-
I move that we consider the proposed Senate resolution and ask the Secretary to read the
Yes,
measure.
the Secretary will read the measure, will read the title of the measure.
Resolution commemorating the 115th birth anniversary of Wenceslao Q. Vinzons and honoring him as the perpetual symbol of hope and youthful leadership in the struggle against poverty, inequality, and corruption.
Every time we approve this, every time we call on the resolution and we ask the Secretary to read the title of the measure, it is inherent in that the content of the resolution is hereby adopted, inserted into the records of the Senate.
Yes,
All right,
that's
Majority
correct,
Leader.
sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we recognize our distinguished colleague from Pampanga, Quezon City, and Cavite, no other than Senator Francis KIKO Pangilinan, to sponsor the measure.
Senator Francis Pangilinan is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Leader, distinguished colleagues. I rise to sponsor Senate Resolution number 128 to commemorate the 115th birth anniversary of Wenceslao Vinzons. Before I proceed, Mr. President, I'd like to place on record that the following are here with us as members of the family of Wenceslao Q. Vinzons from Camarines Norte, namely Councilors Wenceslao Vinzons III, Councilor Joseph Justin Vinzons, and Mr. John Vinzons de Guzman. Mr. President, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is with pride and pleasure that I rise before you today to sponsor Senate Resolution 128 and give tribute to World War II hero and martyr Wenceslao Q. Vinzons. Our resolution seeks to remember his birth and his life. Karangalan para sa akin ang sponsor ng Senate resolution na ito na naglalayong gunitain ang ika-115 birth anniversary ni Wenceslao Vinzons dahil siya ang OG na aktivista. Aktivista bago pa ang World War II. Itinuturing ko rin siyang kapatid, hindi lamang sa aming kapatiran na Upsilon Sigma Phi sa pamantasan ng Pilipinas, kundi kapatid din sa pakikibaka. Yesterday, his hometown, Indan, now named after him, celebrated this happy occasion. Taglay ng kanyang bayan ang kanyang pangalan at alaala. Itong resolusyon ay para muling ipagdiwang ang diwa ng kanyang nakakabilib na buhay. Pambihira si Bintao, o sa salita ng kabataang Gen Z, he is fire. Valedictorian nung high school, magaling na debater sa UP Law, champion orator, number 3 sa bar exams. Sa edad na 22, sa kanyang Malaysia Irredenta, nanawagan siya sa lahat ng lahing Malay na magkaisa laban sa rehimeng kolonyal. Ganyang kalawak ang kanyang pananaw. Tulad na nabanggit ko kanina, naalala ko si Bintao bilang ama ng aktivismo ng mga mag-aaral, the father of student activism in the Philippines. Dahil noong 1930s, sinubukan ng mga mambabatas na itaas ang sariling mga sweldo at nanguna si Bintao sa mga estudyanteng lumabas sa mga lansangan para tutulan ito. Sa panahong mas madali ang tumahimik, naglakas loob siyang magsalita. Sa mga protesta nitong nakarang mga araw tungkol sa flood control scam, parang boses din ni Bintao ang isinisigaw ng mga nagpoprotesta. Hindi pwedeng manahimik, pakikipagsabwatan ang pananahimik. Sa salita ni Bintao noong kinukumbinsi siya ng asawa niya na wag nang labanan ang mga mananakop na Hapon, sabi niya, "If I stay silent, they will still come. If I kneel, our children will grow up slaves. It is better they remember their father stood, even if he must fall." Si Wenceslao Vinzons din ang pinakabatang delegado sa 1934 Constitutional Convention. Later, naging gobernador ng Camarines Sur at naging assemblyman ng nasabing lalawigan. Nang dumating ang ikalawang digmaang pandaigdig, pwede sana siyang manatili sa Maynila, ang sentro ng kapangyarihan. Sa halip, umuwi siya sa bayang tinubuan para organisahin ang isa sa mga unang kilusang gerilya sa Luzon. Tinipon niya ang mga kababayan niyang mga magsasaka na may bolo, mga estudyanteng may mga patpat, mga mangingisda na may mga lumang rifle, at binuo ang halos 3,000 guerrilla force sa Kabikulan. Hindi mga sundalo, hindi malalakas na armas. Sa ehemplo niya, itinuro niya na lakas ng loob ang pinakamalakas na armas. At dahil sa tapang niyang iyon, siya ay tinugis ng mga Hapon, pinagtaksilan, nahuli, binugbog, pinahirapan, inalok ng ginhawa kung ipagkakanulo ang mga kasama. Pero tumanggi siya. Noong Hulyo 15, 1942, sa edad ng 31 anyos, bago siya barilin, sinabi pa niya, "Huwag matakot. Mamamatay tayo para sa ating bansa. Balang araw, magiging malaya ang ating mga anak." Kahapon, Vinzons Day, pinapaalala ng araw na ito at ng buhay ni Bintao na ang aktivismo ay pagmamahal sa bayan, na ang pamumuno ay hindi tungkol sa kita o poder, kundi sakripisyo at serbisyo, na ang kalayaan at mabuting pamamahala ay hindi kailanman ibinibigay lagi itong ibinabaka o ipinaglalaban. Maaring may magtanong, ano ang kinalaman ng isang kabataang Pilipino na nabuhay noong 1930s at 1940s sa ating mga digital natives na kabataan ng bagong milenyo? Ang sagot ko, lahat. Dahil sa panahong pwede nang magsulat, magpasya o manlinlang ang makina, social media, higit kailanman kailangan natin ang tapang, konsensya at pakikipagkapwa-tao. Huwag nating ipagkanulo ang alaala ni Vinzons. Tumindig tayo laban sa baha, hindi lamang ng tubig, kundi ng katiwalian. Dahil dalhin natin ang kanyang tapang sa ating mga silid-aralan, sa ating mga barangay, sa ating mga tanggapan, at oo, sa mga bulwagan ng Kongreso ng Senado. Tumindig si Wenceslao Vinzons, kapatid, gobernador, bayani, kahit kamantayan ang kabayaran ng kanyang pagtindig. Tunay siyang palagiang sagisag ng pag-asa, ng kalayaan, ng tapang ng kabataan. Tulad niya, harapin natin ang hamon ng kahirapan, di pagkapantay-pantay at korupsyon na siyang sumisira sa ating demokrasya. Naway tayo sa ating panahon ay tumindig din. Sa ating araw-araw na pakikibaka, mabuhay ang alaala ni Wenceslao Vinzons, mabuhay ang sambayang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Pangulo.